Mic check, mic check. Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. Yeah, I think we're good. What's up, guys? How we doing? A lot of fucking stuff going on. I'm super stoked to talk about it. Yeah, I don't think I set up my screen share properly. One second. Hold up. Yeah, fuck. I didn't set up my screen share. Hold up, dude. I'm total unk status. One second. Let me restart this shit. One second. Hold up. Did that work? Hold up. Let me see. All right, that worked. All right, thank God. I thought I was gonna have to restart this fucking shit. I was gonna be super pissed, but no worries. Here we are. What's up, guys? Yeah, if you're new here, my name is FOMO. I trade Solana meme coins. That is it. Before we start the stream, nothing in the stream is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is purely for entertainment purposes only. And yeah, if you want to get access to all my trading guides, all the tools that I use, all that fun stuff, you can find it on the description in the X account, that's mine, and also at FOMOMOFOSOL.com. So yeah, you can get access to a bunch of cool stuff on there, which is really, really great. Now, before we dive in, I kind of just wanted to talk about a few things that came out today, which is really interesting. So Pump Fund announced their Project Ascend, which is a series of updates that will 100x the Pump Fund ecosystem by making coins more sustainable and aligned with their communities. So the first two biggest points here is that we're going to be seeing 10x more creator earnings via dynamic fees, 10x faster processing of CTO creator fee applications, which I think is huge. So the first one we'll talk about a little bit later, but the second one I'm more so excited about because I think the biggest reason as to why people have issues with like Dex Screener, for example, is that it's just so hard to get in contact with these fools when it comes down to like, you know, updating Dex or paying for Dex or even doing a CTO. It takes like a few hours, sometimes a day or two also, and it's just some horrible verification system. So Pump Fund, you know, is coming out swinging, saying that they are going to be guaranteeing, you know, just a few hours for that to go through, which is really, really cool. So I'm excited to see that 100%. And honestly, I'm more so excited for these core platforms like Pump Fund, or whether it be a trading terminal like Axiom or whatever, to kind of get people to stray away from the whole like, you know, is Dex paid? Is Dex updated? Blah, 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 blah. Like everybody hates Dex Screener. Like that's just a known fact. So the fact that a lot of people are just still so caught up in like the whole like update Dex, slowly but surely, I think we'll stray away from that to where Pump Fund dominates everything when it comes to live streaming, updating your information, right? Your banner, your coin, things like that. So I'm excited for the direction all these tools are definitely headed in. And then as far as the dynamic fees V1 is really cool. So my issue with like creator fees from Pump Fund to date has always been that it's been ridiculously low compared to what you've seen on like the Believe ecosystem or even Bags, you know, and I've launched tokens on both of those platforms. So I launched Believe University. Oh shit, I'm hearing myself. Hold up. there's like an echo going on. I need to turn off my music, dude. But yeah, so with Believe University, like the rev share fees, or like the fees that you would get from launching coins on there, was insane. You know, people were doing like 10 grand per every 1 million in volume, which is nuts compared to Pump Fund way back when. Hold on, Pump Fund stream ended. Dude, what's going on with my... Okay, hold on. I guess the live stream on Pump Fund ended for some reason. Interesting. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I don't want to have to end the live stream to fix Pump Fund. That's so annoying. Did I crash Pump Fund? One sec. Yeah. Dude, the whole reason about this was because I was gonna live stream on Pump Fund, and now it's not working. One second. One second. Does anyone know if the RTMP shit resets if I open and close Pump Fund? It probably does. Or does it not? Okay, there it is. Yeah, I guess I closed the page by accident. My bad. Anyway, now that that's out of the way. So, like I was saying, the issue that I've had with like the creator fees or like rev share with Pump Fund or whatever has been that it's just been ridiculously low in comparison to other launch pads. And that's also why a lot of people have been hesitant in the ICM side of things to go ahead and, you know, launch coins on there when it comes to like tech, because just the rev share or like the amount of fees that they were getting was just not making sense. You know what I mean? Like if you were to launch a SaaS token, you know, you would only get $78,000 versus the 300 grand that you would get on like Believe or even Bonk, I think. So the fact that they paid attention to that feedback and are actually, you know, either matching or are higher, you know, I'm still waiting for someone to release a guide on like the comparison for creator fees across the board with all the different launch pads out there. It's just going to be really interesting to see what happens now, because the whole thing of like Believe and Bags was that it was like higher fees or whatever, but Pump Fund completely took that away, increase in terms of fees. So really exciting for not only, you know, creators that are, you know, involved in the whole creator capital markets thing, but also for the ICM meta. You know, that there was a lot of tech over there fleeing for Believe, fleeing for Bags. And it's just really interesting now. Like the game has completely been changed, because I think the main selling point, or like the USP of like Believe ecosystem, was obviously Pasternak's connections and whatnot. But he's kind of gone ghost, so we're not really sure what's going on there. He kind of came back with the podcast. So yeah, I think it's kind of like a free reign at this point in terms of like, if you have a startup and you're looking to launch a coin, you can do that either on Pump Fund or Believe or Heaven or whatever. And you kind of have to just go where the market share is at. And I really think that Pump Fund is at this moment in time. So that being said, yeah, the FOMO token on Pump Fund is mine. I did release it. So yeah, I'm going to be live streaming here from now on. So it's going to be fun, because there's incentive, right? When it comes to like streaming. And Elon is really huge on the whole, or Elon, I'm still not sure how to pronounce your name, dude, I'm sorry. But Elon, you know, has always talked about creator capital markets being the next big thing. So yeah, gonna try it out. So to put into perspective, live streaming on YouTube and just putting content out there for like the last year, I think to date I've made like $2 grand on it. So the fact that I've made pretty much 10x that already, just live streaming for like 20 minutes is huge in terms of like live streaming and monetization for creators and things like that. So I'm excited to see what happens with it. But Yeah, it's the FOMO token here that I'm live streaming on if you're watching on there, but I believe it's this one. Can't really see, I have it on a different browser, different tab, but yeah, that's me. That's my token. I bought, how much did I buy? I think like 20% of the supply or something. So yeah, I'll lock it after the stream, but yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah, with all of those introductions out of the way and kind of the TLDR as to why I launched a token on here, again, it's just for visibility. If you're a creator and you're looking to like live stream and things like that, I really think that the whole Twitch, the whole YouTube thing is great, but we're still limited. Everyone says like, oh, if you have a ton of mind share on like Twitch or on YouTube, the normies are going to flood in and things like that. I honestly disagree with that, because when it comes to like these live streams, 99% of the time we're talking about things that are relevant to CT, that are relevant to people that are in the trenches. You know what I mean? It doesn't really appeal to like outsiders or like normies and whatnot. So in my opinion, if you're really looking to like quote unquote build an audience, lock in and speak to the people, Pump Fund's the way to do it. And if you're looking to onboard people, short form content on these other short form platforms are the way to go. Because again, like 99% of the people watching this are people that are already trading meme coins. If you're looking to get out there and onboard people, that's where it comes to like clipping. You know, Thread Guy does a great job on it. Jack does a great job on it. Shout out to him. So yeah, I'm excited to see how exactly Pump Fund plans onto like the whole retail appeal side of things. So I'm excited. So a lot of people saying for me to lock the supply on the stream. You know, I'll go do that real quick. Just give me a minute. I don't want that to be the topic of discussion for longer than it needs to be. So let's just get that out of the way. Connect. Create lock. Let me get my contract address. Paste it. FOMO. What the fuck do I have to put here? Lock. So 245 million tokens are going to be locked. Nobody can cancel the contract. Nobody can cancel the recipient. Vesting start date. How do I... Dude. Why is it so complicated to lock tokens on here? All right, so I'll lock the tokens for 20 years. Okay, create contract, lock. All right, there you go. All right, here. I locked the tokens for 20 years. Here's the Sol Scan thing. You can find it. I use JukeBlock. So 245 million FOMO tokens are locked for 20 years. So yeah, there you go. Now that that's out of the way, we can get back to talking. So on my agenda, like I said, we were talking about Pump Fund, so we already talked about that. On the flip side, really interesting how a lot of these like announcements kind of coincide with each other. So hold up, I'm getting messages from somebody. Yo. So yeah, on the flip side though, Bonk partnered with Kick, which is interesting. So not gonna talk too much about that, but yeah. Everyone wants to tweet me to tweet locked 245 million FOMO tokens. streaming now on Pump Fun. Let me get the link. There you go. All right, there you go. So I tweeted it too. All right, there we go. So, like I was saying, obviously Pump Fun is the talk of the town now. Fucking Bonk partnered up with Kick, which is interesting. I don't really know what it means other than just like Kick being embedded on like a Bonk page, whereas Pump Fun has tech, you know, built on their actual platform. So really curious to see how this plays out. So I know I've been talking a lot about like ICM, internet capital markets, being the next thing, but I'm almost curious if we get the whole creator capital market thing right before ICM. So it really looks like it, because, you know, the talk of the town right now is like, how do we get more eyes on the Solana ecosystem? Like I even think Elon's latest tweet talks about that. Like, how do we scale? How do we get more people in? And like I said, I don't really think that streaming on Twitch, streaming on YouTube and all that fun stuff is really the way to go. Whereas, you know, streaming on the actual launchpad itself will, you know, actually just benefit the ecosystem in general in terms of like attracting other streamers. I know they got like the Brown House or something, like those guys were pretty huge on, you know, live streaming. So they got those guys in and whatnot. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. Hold up. I'm also just checking DMs at the same time because there's some people. I'm gonna add my assistant to this group chat. Please take it from here. All right, sorry. Cool. But yeah, so creator capital markets, it's basically just betting on people, you know, for their content and just spreading the word, whether it's like working for your bags, whether it's, you know, onboarding people. And when it comes to onboarding people, I think I do a pretty good job with that, with the type of content that I'm putting out there. So I'm really excited to be doing the whole live streaming thing a little bit more regularly now. To put into perspective, you know, this thread that I posted earlier today about, you know, this guy with Pump Fun got 200,000 impressions, which is really cool. My videos get like 10K impressions per, which is awesome. Memecoins fucking coin. Yeah, so I mean, to put it into perspective in terms of like the last 4 weeks, I've gotten tons of impressions on my X account, and impressions are one thing, but my thing is always like, how does it convert? What does the conversion rate look like? And I actually funnel all these people. Like this thread did really well too, 200,000 impressions as well. So I always funnel people to an email list so I can do whatever I want with it, you know, in terms of like getting people to use a specific platform or getting people to check out a specific coin and things like that. So, you know, when a thread takes off, I get like 200 people signing up for the email list. I got like 8,500 people here as well. So it's just been really, really awesome, you know, to see like fruits of my labor in terms of like the content side, and seeing it actually convert. Because I think the misconception with like growing a personal brand or growing a business is just like views. But what people really want to see is just like, you know, conversion. Like, are you actually getting people to do the thing that you're trying to bait people with the content? And my content is mainly positioned to get about meme coins and trade them, you know, efficiently and trade them the right way, to not zero their port, to actually like make money, things like that. So that's been my whole thing, just educating the space. And whether it's like traders, whether it's like startup founders, whether it's other people who want to build a personal brand on here. And Elon himself has said too, I think like Pump Fun streaming is just very, you know, slept on, in the sense of like, not a lot of people are utilizing it, not a lot of people are leveraging it. But I think, again, the reason why people were not really using it was because the payouts just weren't there, but they fixed that. So I think now it's just like free game, you know what I mean, for a lot of people to just like come in and want to stream on here now, since the creator rewards are looking really, really good now. So I'm excited about those changes. But yeah, sorry, I was just eyeing a chat that I have here. Let's see what people are saying here. What are the thoughts? He's gonna eat fat off of the creator fees. You don't need to farm, y'all. Take this at least to 1 million, Brody. Trenches need it. Is this your recent replying? Honestly, used to be Unk, but you came a bitch. Dude, this guy's fucking funny. I love him. Clippy, taking notes, bruh. Yeah, dude, all your tokens end up being a scam. You know yourself. Why did you issue a fucking token for nothing? Dude, my live stream keeps cutting out from Pump. I don't really know why. I gotta talk to Pump Fun about it, because for some reason it keeps going in and out. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. But yeah, sentiment is interesting, needless to say. But yeah, let's talk about just Solana in general. As we saw, you know, like I always like to refer to these things as like mini cycles, whether it's like ode memes or whether it's like based off of launch pads or whether it's based off of, you know, different metas. The whole launchpad thing has just been like interesting to see how it plays out. But if you're like a charting person, it's kind of interesting to see like Pump Fund was always number one, then there's like a quote unquote retrace here, and then it just boomed again. So it's just going to be really interesting to see what happens here. I really think Pump Fund's going to remain number one here. Bonk probably number two. Believe in Bags, you know, 3 and 4 show. So we'll see how it goes from there. But it's just nice to see green here in terms of like tokens being deployed. There's like graduating tokens here, like Pump Fund's just like dominating. We've had 164 tokens graduated in the last 24 hours. Bonk Fund only got like 32, and Launch Labs got 1, Believe 0, Boost 0, Heaven got 4, Bags got 7. So in terms of like mindshare, like Pump Fund is definitely like leading the charge here. And this website I'm using is dune.com. Shout out to Adam. He shares just some incredible data here all the time for us to like easily access and peep out. So I'm excited to continue doing these and just like let you know my thoughts and everything, because I think it's important. But in terms of volume, like Pump Fund's doing 140 mil, you know, a day. You know, obviously beginning of August was kind of horrible. You know, speaking of August and September last year was fucking trash. Like it was horrible. So I was really expecting August and September of like this year to be like horrible, but it actually really wasn't. It was actually pretty decent. Like volume didn't like fall off a cliff. I know in the beginning of the month it kind of like dipped down a little bit, but all in all, I think we're in the clear. I'm anticipating Q3 and Q4 to even do better here. And if you remember last year, like the whole AI meta was, you know, peak, like, sorry, I'm like reading a chat at the same time. Mindshare was like at all-time high last year for like AI with like Goat and what was the other one? Cerebro and all that shit. That was all on Pump Fund, by the way. So I think it was just interesting that we're kind of slowly shifting to that, like with the emergence of like Spark and I forgot the other one, the Spirit one, Illusion of Life. But in terms of like AI heating up, I really think we're due for that here shortly. So we're at 25 mil right now. We had a nasty dip here because I think people just weren't like bullish on the whole Sesame Street association. I honestly have zero clue why, but I thought that was bullish, dude. I fucking love Sesame Street. But yeah, we're hanging here at 25 mil. I think price, obviously, like if it goes down, we'll probably be looking at like 18 mil worst case scenario. But best case scenario, I'm thinking we go to like 40 mil short term, then back here to like 30, and then back up to all-time highs at 60. So we'll see what happens there. But Yeah, I think AI 2.0 on Pump Fun is definitely on the horizon here. Sorry, let me respond to something. I'm using a restream. The link shit. All right, cool. Sorry, I'm just multitasking, but yeah. Can you pay Dex? People. Oh my god, dude. Alright, I will pay Dex Screener because fucking people care so much about that shit, dude. I fucking hate it. Alright, let me take a quick 5-minute break here to pay Dex because you guys won't shut up about that. Give me a second. Alright, so Dex Screener is in progress. I'm just adding the bullshit right now because I guess that's important. I'll never understand, guys. Like I said, I really don't think it's necessary doing this, but it's all that people care about right now. So I gotta cater to the people. Know what I'm saying? Alright, pay with Coinbase. Why would you lock it for 20 years instead of burning the supply? So I don't care to do that, dude. Supply burns doesn't do anything. The only time burning supply ever worked was for Michi, was because it was a fresh, new idea. And that whole meta thing has been dead for a very long time. Burning supply does not do anything. Doesn't do anything at all. The whole purpose of like locking supply or burning supply is to take it out of circulation, which is what we did with locking it. So, I mean, it's done. All right, Dex Screener is paid. I'll tweet it right now because everyone wants to fucking see that. Blah, 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 blah. 1 second. All right, Dex paid. There you go. Dex Screener is paid now, guys. It's gonna be a game changer for the future of this token. There we go. We're happy now. All right, I gotta check in on some messages too. Hold up. Fucking, I started some shit, I guess. Cool. All right. Problem handled / sorted. Dope. All right. So Dex is paid. That's it. No, do a 500x Dex. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? All right. I'm done doing shit for the token. Pay Dex. Put it on coin market cap. We want to see FOMO coin on CoinGecko. Is the dev planning to stick with this project? Oddly enough, I've stuck with every single project that I've launched. It's kind of funny. Streets is saying you're farming us again with another token. I don't necessarily think I've ever farmed anything. You know, like I've done the work. Like Believe University, done a lot of work on this. And let's do a recap. So Believe University, we did 6 courses across the board on how to launch a token successfully. So like an hour worth of content. We built the Zapier for connecting your token to your SaaS product. We acquired Chadform for money. I bought this. And we developed a payroll software as well, all for that ecosystem. So yeah. And all the fees that I made off of Believe University, by the way, I think I made like $250,000. I think like 90% of it went towards buybacks at all-time high when it was like at 2-3 mil. And then payroll for Believe University is like $6,000 a month. And I've still been paying these guys. And obviously it doesn't get a lot of volume, so we're losing money on it, which is interesting. So yeah. FOMO's community. I already have a community. I don't need an X community, but anyway, that's besides the point. So I already talked Launchpad volumes. Let's talk about the Glassful Foundation. So if you're not familiar with this is essentially what Pump Fund does to like stimulate coins in their ecosystem that they're like really bullish on, which I agree with a lot of the tokens listed on here. I'm bullish on, I think, pretty much 99% of them. So they've invested 1.6 mil back into these different communities, which is really cool to see. So right now their biggest holdings is USDUC, unstable coin, if you're not familiar with that one. Tokabu, the spirit of gambling. I really like this one. If you're looking for community coin to buy and hold that's not like at 100 mil like Troll is, which Troll by far is still my biggest conviction play, but Tokabu is up there for me in terms of like top 3 like community coins. I would say Troll, Tokabu, and Blob when it comes to like the Pump Fund ecosystem. I think those 3 are great. Oh, and also Labubu, that one is great too. But Tokabu is like the spirit of gambling, and it has an insane community on X right now. Like a lot of people, but a lot of people have actually changed their PFPs because when it comes to like gambling in general, that's like the whole, you know, like thing that we're doing on here anyway with like meme coins. So yeah, they got suspended, dude. That sucks. Tokabu. But yeah, I think every other PFP that I've seen on X right now, like Patty changed his PFP to Tokabu, Tetsuo, I think Pow, this guy Golden. So they have a lot of mind share on X in terms of like profile picture changes, which I haven't really seen in a very long time. You know, usually when people change their profile pictures, it's because they're really bullish on it and they believe that the token's just going to go higher and higher. So the fact that we've been seeing that with Tokabu pretty consistently, like see here, there's 5 Tokabu PFPs per thread, guys, like ET top 75, you know what I mean? And that says a lot, you know, that like these big names are rocking the PFP, because that takes a lot, because a lot of people are like precious about their profile pictures, whether it's like an overly expensive JPEG that they bought, during the NFT craze, or if it's like a custom image of theirs, you know what I mean? So like a lot of people are precious with their PFP. They don't really change it unless it's like something that they're super, super bullish on. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes next. My guess would be that Tokubu, in terms of like short-term price action, and when I say like short-term price action, I'm talking like over like the next like month or two. Worst case scenario, we go back down to like 30, but something horrible must happen for that to happen, because it's on a uptrend right now. So in the short term, I will say I'd love to see it back at all-time high, and then I think it's just gonna pull god candle after god candle when it comes to like it reaching like 150 mil. So I think Troll's got to pick up before Tokubu does the distance. So I think once Troll, see on the last stream I talked about like this little uptrend, or like this quote unquote support that it had here, it kind of like broke. I told you guys I would buy here like at 120, which, shout out if you did, if you followed that. But what's gonna happen with Troll, it might see some resistance here, like trying to cross 200. So it'll probably go back up here, not, hit 200, but maybe go back down here to like quote unquote the previous support from, the previous all-time. I don't know anything about TA, by the way. This is just like my personal experience and based off of what I've seen like coins do when they go up and down, left, right, so on and so forth. But yeah, it'll probably try to break 200. It'll fail, like chill around here at like 170 or something for a few days, and then try to break again 200. It might break it. It might go to like 230, back down to 200, and hopefully blast through all-time highs. So Troll was still like the trade of the cycle for me, which is insane to say. Like I made a lot of money during the AI meta, but I've never made like this much off of a single coin, which is really cool to see. And again, I say this all the fucking time. I probably sound like a broken record, but I think we got to be broken records to an extent if we really want to see, these coins really go the distance. It comes down to like really being bullish on it and talking about it all the time. So I really see Troll up there with like Doge and Pepe. Like if you think like top 3 coins or like top 3 meme coins, like years down the line, I would definitely say like Doge, Pepe, and Troll, because I think they're that big in terms of mind share, recognition, and just like there's enough content to go around to like make it last a while. You know what I mean? Let's check out the comments. I have not been paying attention to the comments at all. Dex is taking forever to update. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Fuck Dex Screener, but you guys wanted me to update it. I just got the email that said that the order was completed 1 minute ago, so it should be fine in the next like 5 to 10 minutes or so. But yeah, yeah, and someone got the Dex paid notification from Fanes. Shout out to Fanes, whatever. But yeah, dude, it's updated, so there we go. Someone asked, what do I think about Jelly? Dom is head of CTO. I've been talking about Jelly for the last few days, on the topic of like coins that'll go the distance or have like that OG mindshare type shit, or kind of fall like in the coattails of like Doge, Pepe, and Troll. I'm not here to say that Jelly's going to hit like 100 mil or anything ridiculous like that, but realistically, I think I tweeted about it too. Let me see. What were my predictions? I'm not going to talk out of my ass. What did I say? Oh, I don't know where that tweet is at. Dude, I just tweet so much. I don't remember. But I think I said like 50. I don't remember. Yeah, 50 million in like the next 3 months for sure. That's a drop in the bucket in terms of like time. You know what I mean? If you can't hold something for 3 months, then there's a bigger issue there. But I really like Damen for one, and two, I think it's a great meme, you know, in terms of like how memeable it is, or how, you know, recognizable it is. Like, oddly enough, a lot of the holders, not trenchers, I'm talking about holders, right? When it comes to actual holders, like people that have conviction, whether it's like Housecoin, Troll, Tokubu, things like that. Like, that crowd is a little older. They're like 25 plus, you know what I mean? 25, 30 years old plus. So those guys know how to hold coins, which is why I like community coins, because it's just like you get in sub 5 mil and then you just write it while these people work for their bags, because these guys got families, they got fucking jobs, they're busy, dude. Like, they don't have time to hyper gamble in front of Axiom or Memescope or whatever and try to make like $5,000 a day. Like, they're wanting to make like 100, 200 grand over the next like few months, and that's completely possible to do with these community coins. So it's really hard to find these and identify these and really separate them from the whole like gambling, trenching type shit that everyone is just like really obsessed and interested in right now. So yeah, I think Jelly, again, over the next 3 months will probably hit at least 50 mil at some point, and that's not an impossible thing to see happen. Like, the community is already rallying. You got Damen change his PFP. There's a lot of people, you know, rocking the Jelly PFP in the actual like community too. There's almost 1,000 people in there, you know what I mean? So, you know, here's a Jelly PFP, Jelly PFP, Jelly PFP. Like, this is the shit you want to see when it comes to like identifying whether something is going to be sustainable or last longer than a fucking day. And if you see, you know, multiple tweets over like the last hour with people rocking the PFP, then you have something special there, you know? And I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh, I found the next troll, I found the next whatever, because fuck, dude, a lot of people like doing that, and I'm not a fan of that. There will never be another troll. But in terms of a, you know, lasting community, I definitely think this is it. Like, there's a lot of, you know, banana jelly time PFPs, which is always a good sign. So I'm excited to see where it develops further. But like I said, you know, I shared it on the timeline, I think around like 600, 700K, like around here. Then it dipped down, you know, typical retrace, so something just blast to like 1 mil. And then, you know, it survived the dip. I think holders are at all-time high again too. So yeah, again, you know, if you're not familiar with like coin price action or how coins typically go, here's what's going to happen with Jelly. You know, everyone's going to buy it right now. You know, it'll probably go to like 2 mil over the next few days. Then it'll go back down to 1 mil. Like, when tokens retrace, it doesn't immediately mean that it's a rug or a farm. Like, the biggest misconception is like anytime a coin retraces, which you see more of that when you're like doing the whole like fucking 15-second new pair shit. You know what I mean? Because people are just like obsessed with like gambling, and when they're looking at like the 1 second chart and like looking at it go up and down, and they're only in a coin for like 5 minutes, they forget how actual price action like works on actual community coins, dude. It's kind of sad how that trend has just developed, to be honest, because again, like, it doesn't take a genius to like look at a chart and be like, okay, yeah, it's obviously going to retrace either here at 900K, which was the all-time high over here, or retrace here when it had resistance here at like 1 mil. So probably 900K to 1 mil is where it will go next before it tries to attempt to break out the previous all-time high that it had here when it's like over here. So this stuff might seem like hard. I'm not a TA expert by any means at all, but the more you look at these charts for like community coins, the more it makes sense to you. Same thing with Troll. Like, I can't believe there's people saying like, yup, Troll is going to fucking zero. Like, it's being farmed. Like, fuck Shadow, fuck FOMO. Like, it's going to zero. Fuck Dylan. You know what I mean? Like, just because it's on a retrace after fucking green candle after green candle, especially here, dude, it went from 100 mil to like 170 mil within like a day. Like, that's insane. At an insane run up, people are up millions of dollars. Like, of course people are going to fucking sell. You know what I mean? And all of these retraces are just opportunities for other people to jump in and buy and ride the wave, especially if they're bullish on the narrative and bullish on the coin itself. So, I think for me, it's just a matter of like understanding who is feeding you bullshit and understanding who's actually feeding you like actual alpha. And 99% of the people on here on Twitter are just feeding you bullshit to make it for that day. And I like stressing that because there's a huge difference. And I think I tweeted that, or I saw a tweet about that the other day, that there's two types of traders here on Twitter. Let's pull that up. Where's it at? Yeah. So there's two types of traders in the trenches. A, they trade on Photon, Axiom. They sit on Memescope 24/7. Hold time is under a minute. Start selling at 1.5x. 20 to 30 P&Ls per day. Worships Cupsy and Spoono. Hates Frank to Gods, Lexapro, and Sling Ds. Or B, trades on Jupiter Trojan bots, doesn't mind Lexapro, loses 10 to 20 sol per trade, or makes 60 plus, referred to as an unk in the FNF, hasn't had sex with a human female. So these two are the main types of traders that you encounter. And to take it a step further, I have these different trading styles in my guides here. If you want to check them out, it's at fomomofosol.com. And essentially there's like the, new pair high volume gambler, which this is good if you have money to lose, but if you have little to no money and if you lose it and you're fucked, this is like the worst place for you to go, 100%. But I have an X list here with these people. If you're looking to find people who like catch, narratives, like In My Bag is a great account. Osama Bin Fresh, he does a combination of, trenching and also finding coins on retraces that will do well. So like these are the accounts I prefer to follow and listen to, which I call the buy dip sell rip strategy. And these accounts, there's not that many, and they're not that big in terms of like followership. That's why I only have like 40 on here, because there's not a lot of them. But like Mirage is just like a great account that has been shilling Nub for the longest time. And like I was saying, like Osama Bin Fresh, like he's giving you a fantastic setup for Uranus here. It's just chilling here. Obviously he has his little TA. So, I mean, if you were to bid here like $5,000, you could probably turn it into 10 grand over the next few days, which that's not a bad thing. You just gotta have patience. Or you can go to the casino and potentially lose it all or make a lot of money. But it just all depends on like your risk tolerance, how much you're willing to lose, how much you're willing to make. But if you're doing new pairs thing, just always tread lightly. Like the worst thing you can do is just go to zero and then you're fucked and then you have no money to play with. So I usually recommend the community coins, but getting a little distracted, like I was saying with Jelly though. Yeah, I definitely think it'll go higher over the next few months for sure. So if you're looking for a community, I think this is one of the best ones that's developing now. Another community that I really like that's developing is IRL Coin. Shout out to ABOC, shout out to Dylan. I think those guys are pushing it. I think Slinger's in it too, but he's unstable. So yeah. But yeah, it's chilling here at 1.5. Same thing, guys. It's not a scam because it's going down. So like, this is what typically happens. A lot of people wait for these bigger accounts to like shill a coin. So let's say they shilled it here at 1.6 and it goes to like 4 mil or 3 mil. And then it goes down. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't mean that it's a scam. It just means that it's on a natural retrace. It's just retracing. And if you don't know what that means, like, go read a fucking book or watch videos on YouTube about price action or about trading. Like, again, are you a gambler or are you here to trade and change your life? Because I can 100% tell you guys, when I bought Troll, and I've changed my life time after time over the last year of being here, but I literally was like laid up the opportunity during the peak Memes 2.0 era that I had in April. I had the opportunity to buy Troll, buy Wizard, buy Tickcoin at very low valuations and literally just like touch grass and build shit on Solana elsewhere without having to worry about day trading or day gambling. You know what I mean? So I really think for a lot of people, you kind of have to reel your emotions back in and really understand, like, okay, are you here to gamble your rent money away, or are you here to actually make money, you know what I mean? And that's where you kind of have to have a sharper eye, like obviously still be online, but understand when it's time to like sit on your hands and not do shit and just look at the market and understand it. Or find coins like this, you know, like IRL coin, it hit 1 mil, then it retraced again. Again, it wasn't a rug, it wasn't a farm, it was just a natural retrace here. And again, I'm not good with TA, but literally the only fucking thing I ever use is this fettuccine retraceable. And I just go to the bottom here, I bring it to the top up here, then you can see here, that's a natural retrace. Sorry, bring it here. This is called the golden pocket or whatever the fuck, dude. Like I always look at the 0.6, 6.7 coded, 6.7, 6.7. So that's what I always look at. Just put this side all the way on the bottom, put this thing at the all-time high that it was at, and then you'll see here, this is typically a bidding zone. This is like the optimal bidding zone for any meme coin. And you can literally place this same fettuccine retracement thing on any chart and it'll make sense. It'll work. Like right here, this is like a clear bottom. If you put it here at the all-time high, it obviously broke that support right here. So now it's going over here. So what's going to happen next? You know what I mean? Either the community rallies and it starts to go back up, or it'll go back down here to 900K, you know, because it had a quote unquote break of structure. You got to understand that whole bonk and United States of America thing happened and fucking Trump supposedly died. So some coins, you know, did dip pretty hard, but you know, now we are seeing some capital enter here. So if you look at the different time frames, it had a little pump here, then people sold it off. There was a big sell here. So whenever I see big sells and it's a coin that I'm like bullish on, it doesn't really faze me, because that's just like another opportunity for someone else to come in that's really bullish on it. But yeah, IRL coin, I think it's great because a lot of people are drawing things IRL, and they're actually going outside and filming content IRL. So, you know, for example, like this guy, he went out there and he put IRL coin at a station IRL. So things like that are actually what really drive coins. Like if you guys remember that banana coin from last year, like that shit did really, really well. And it was just like a combination of people to, you know, go out and about and show the coin in real life, and also, you know, it was like funny or whatever. So yeah, I'm kind of seeing the same thing play out with this one, so it's pretty interesting. 9,700 people watching on X. Shout out to you guys, appreciate it. What's going on Twitter right now? I haven't looked at replies in a minute. Dex is paid. No motion anymore. Dude, I don't care about motion. Take this millions. Also, you're gonna lose all your motion. I don't care about motion. Let's cook, bro. Streets is saying your farm. Oh yeah, I read that one earlier. That's fine. Stack is in jail. No motion. IRL mode. Neon Cat. One of the biggest fall-offs on CT. Think he's launched a rug on every launch pad now. Pay Moby screener banner. Pay Moby. Yeah. I've seen this meme a lot, by the way, as like replies. I think this one's great. I don't know if it's a contract address or anything, but I've always liked these like fake, like, oh, he's dead type shit. So I like it. What else did I have on my little agenda? Yeah, Jelly Time, Tokaboo. Yeah, I was talking about this. Yeah. I'm B, obviously. I don't really do the whole trenching thing. It's just not my thing. It's way too crazy for me. Ooh, this is an opinion piece. I'm gonna fucking bookmark this to read it later. This is interesting. All right, I'll bookmark it for later. All right, talked about glass full. Talked about pump already. Trading bots, because I think that's like a really big topic of discussion for a lot of people. Oddly enough, like the fact that Photon is still number one with lifetime fees, that's just crazy to me. Like, and it was just because like first mover, you know, first movers advantage or whatever, but like they were one of the first like trading terminals like on the web. And fuck, dude, like they printed hard, but here we are waiting for an airdrop. I don't ever think we'll get an airdrop, and I think I say this every time I go live, but as far as like these trading terminal airdrops, they're not going to happen until the trenches is like significantly like dead in my opinion, because we saw the same thing happen with like the Magic Eden airdrop, the same thing with like the Tensor airdrop. Like they didn't release the airdrop during like NFT season, they released it like after like the dust settled. So I have a feeling that's going to happen too. And it's interesting because a lot of people kind of fell into that whole like baiting of like, oh, like rack up as many points as you can, you know, to farm the airdrop. And I feel like we kept doing that time after time. You know, we did that with Photon and Trojan. Then we moved over to BullX and Photon. Like I think those two were like neck and neck in terms of like mind share. And then a bunch of other trading bots came out of the woodwork since then. So it's just really interesting to see how many options there are out there. But oddly enough, like Axiom has still remained number one in mindshare for quite some time. And I think every single time we've had like trading bot wars or like different trading terminals that people were using, like yeah, Axiom has 61% fucking mindshare. That's insane. But like, you know, let's take it a step back further. Before it was like you were either trading on BonkBot or Trojan, then it went Photon or BullX, then it went Axiom or BullX, and now it's just Axiom and everyone else. And that says a lot for a new company that's, by the way, you know, VC funded and backed. So I'm really curious to see what becomes the number two. Because right now, like I said, it's just Axiom against everybody else. Like no one else is really even close to competing. Photon, I think it's just a few people that are still carrying their volume that just do an insane amount of volume. I've like very seldom seen a Photon P&L in quite some time. And if I do, it's because they have the Photon badge. So obviously they're going to be promoting that. So yeah, it's just really interesting to see what's going to come up as the number two here shortly. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, let me see. Sorry, I just got to check out some chats real quick. Let's see what's going on. I lost the chat that I was looking at. All right. Sorry, I just had to respond to something rather time sensitive. All right, cool. Yeah, that's my stance on the whole trading bot thing. Like, I really don't think we're gonna get an airdrop anytime soon. And if we did, fucking yeah, dude, like I'm all about it. But I'm more curious to see what happens in terms of like who's number two or whatever here shortly, because there's already a lot of trading bots like Padre. I've never used them. I've talked to them, I think, a few times for like a potential like deal or something, but I don't really like it. It just feels like an Axiom ripoff with higher cashback rewards, which that's never really an incentive to like switch your entire like trading setup just because it's higher cashback rewards. I really think like the whole cashback system is kind of rigged because like you're with every trading terminal, you're getting charged a 1% transaction fee, and then they're giving you back X percentage or whatever. So that doesn't really make sense, especially if you're not trading with like size. Like it just doesn't really add up. Like I'm more interested on like if I refer people, like what does the referral system look like, or what percentage I'm getting back, you know, if I refer X amount of people, or if I hit certain milestones with like referrals and things like that. So yeah, curious to see what happens next. But anyway, trending tokens. Yeah, ICM, I already talked about that. B screener, someone asked about it. So yeah, for this one, I have a call with the bags team, I think tomorrow. So I'm gonna talk to them again. But I think the main thing is that we got to get our X account back, because that was like marketing the product on autopilot basically. And it got banned, which is unfortunate, but we'll fix that here shortly. Heaven Eco is pretty much non-existent with the exception of Light and Magic, which I thought this was a scam, by the way. When Bubs and Bleach were in the office a week ago, we saw it launch, but it just seemed very sketchy. So I'm pretty surprised that it's like doing so well. That's crazy. But anyway, yeah. Farcoin looks bottomed here. Yeah, I definitely think it's bottomed for sure. But yeah, IRL coin is moving. Great. But yeah, I think I talked about all the leaders. Like these four are like my, not Trojan horse, or I guess Trojan horses of like the Solana meme coin cycle. I think Troll, Farcoin, and Giga and Launchcoin are like my biggest personal bags right now. Farcoin obviously is going to go the distance here shortly when Bitcoin kind of settles down and all that shit. So in the last stream we talked about, we're kind of saying this is kind of like support here, and worst case it would maybe like do like a scam wick down to like 600 mil to get rid of, you know, to liquidate some shorts or potentially some longs too that are going to fuck up, you know, the way up. But it doesn't look like we encountered that. You know, it's still doing its thing, which is great. So yeah, I'm excited on that. Any Farcoin whales in here? Farcoin. Tobu asked, are the trenches dead or are they on their last breath? Honestly, I don't think it'll ever die. Like people say, like everyone always compares it to a casino. Like casinos never go away. Casinos are still thriving and alive. And I think this goes for just like gambling on meme coins. Like I don't think we can how do I put it? Like you can't hook someone on cocaine for over a year and then just take it away from them. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be the same thing with like the people that are just like hyper gambling on, you know, Axiom or whatever. Like that's never going to go away. And they're honestly the biggest volume drivers, which is insane. But like, yeah, this shit's never going to go away. It's way too addicting. People are way too dependent on it, in my opinion, in terms of like making enough money today for like their living expenses. You know what I mean? And I think once we get rid of the whole mentality of like, you got to make $5,000 today, you got to make 10 grand tomorrow, you got to do this, you got to do that. And if we flip the script and think more so like, hey, like I want to make, you know, 100 grand this month and I want to do it on like 2 to 3 trades because I don't want to spend 24/7 hyper gambling, that's where you find happiness and peace within you, because it's just a lot more fun that way. And I think it's just been like a gradual like shift in terms of like how people approach trading or like how their mentality and their thinking goes. Because like if this were like peak 2024 last year and fucking Pump Fund themselves have Blob on their banner, and we know that Blob is the most used like GIF or GIF, I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that, it's like the most used GIF on social media in general. Like this shit should be at 50 million right now, but that's not fucking happening because people are just so obsessed with like getting the lowest entry possible, getting in at like sub 50k market cap pre-bond and trying to sell here. Like that's what all these people did, you know, like it ran up, they were like, oh, it's fucking viral. It's the next multi-million token, blah, 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 as they're fucking selling, you know, as it's going up. But like the fact that something with so much mind share and goes viral every single time, I think, fuck, I forget his name all the time, but he has like a vector I think Bobby is his name. Shout out to Bobby. I think he's like a vector affiliate or something. Yeah, Bobby. Dude, like every time he responds with blob on like responses, like it always does numbers. Like, look at this shit. 258,000 views on a response. What other meme can allow you to do that? Like, that's fucking nuts. And this was like 4 days ago. 258,000 views just by responding to that. And he does it over and over, dude. Like, every time that he responds with this, like, it's insane. Can you just get you 8,000 likes and 170,000 impressions? Like, he does this shit all the time, and it always does really, really well. So I said this on the last stream, but I'm gonna, you know, stress it again. Fucking blob is undervalued, and it's just insane how many people are sleeping on it. Like, this shit is gonna get repriced one day, and everyone's gonna be like taken aback by it and not be prepared at all, because just how huge this fucking blob is. Like, it's insane. But anyway, no, the trenches are not dead. I think we're good. Communities, though, I was kind of feeling like they were dead for a little bit, but no, yeah, I think we're in the clear, in my opinion. But I digress. People are asking me to pull up the FOMO coin. What's going on with it? I'm not really, but I can put it on the screen, like right here for you guys to look at, I guess. The entire time I'm yapping. There you go. There's the chart if you care. Oh shit. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I'll keep the chart up here the entire time. There you go. Oh wait, I lost it. Defined. There it is. Okay. What else was I talking about? I already talked about leaders, viral coins. Yeah. So this is gonna be like not biased towards any launch pads. It's just gonna be like strictly across the board, like the viral coins that I have here on my watch list that I'm completely looking at, like keeping an eye on to see what the ceiling is. And I think that's just like an undervalued thing, or like a really slept on way to go about it that not a lot of people look at. Is like, for example, like blob. I keep saying that it should be repriced like insanely or whatever. But the fact that Labubu is sold out on PopMart and people are reselling it like crazy. The PopMart stock is fucking through the roof right now. And it's only at 6 mil. And I've talked about this coin, you know, time after time on the timeline. I've talked about it a few times whenever I stream. But the reason it ran up so high was around May, when like it was like peak graduation, peak, you know, Mother's Day, and I think even Father's Day. I don't fucking remember. I don't know. But that's why it ran up, because we were seeing it everywhere on TikTok. The same thing is going to happen here for Christmas. Okay? So it's going to happen very, 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 very soon. And when I'm talking soon, I'm talking like October, November time. Everyone's going to want a fucking Labubu for Christmas. Everybody, dude. Your mom, your cousin, your brother that's a little sus. Like, everyone's going to want a fucking Labubu. And it's just going to increase in mindshare on social media again. People are going to go crazy about it, and we're going to see it the entire time on the timeline. And then the coin is just going to follow, in my opinion. So I won't be surprised when I see Labubu back at least 40 mil, or even past all-time highs at 66 here. So if you're looking to size into something to bull post and just chill, or if you're tired of the whole gambling thing and, you know, you've been burnt and you just want to, you know, ride with the community as it goes the way up, as it goes up, then I think Labubu is a pretty good bet. It's a higher market cap coin, of course, but I think the downside is just like Literally nothing. I mean, worst case, it goes to like what, 3 to 5 mil. So you lost like 50% of your money, but it will go back up because again, Lubu is the number one fucking toy, was the number one gift during graduation season and for Mother's Day too. And they're still sold out. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. Just the attention for CT has gone elsewhere. So yeah, I think Labubu's a safe bet. Lizard, I'm still kind of like iffy between it just because I don't really see it as much on social media, but I still have it here because I'm still in. The Amazing Digital Circus, I still really like this one. I still think everybody is sleeping on it just because of how popular it is. And yeah, so for me, you know, when it comes to like why I buy tokens, it all boils down to like mind share for one, community two, and chart third. I don't really pay much attention to charts in the short term just because they don't really matter. And my argument for that, or like the proof in the pudding for that, is always troll. Like if I was stressing day one when I was like shilling troll, like that was like down here, bro. Like, and the odds of this happening for every single coin are very slim, but you got to understand, like, I have made the money I have made for a reason. I have an eye for this stuff, and I can't really convince everybody to see it because I'm just one person. Like a bunch of people have to also share the same vision, whether it's multiple people with large followings or multiple smaller accounts that are just really like diehard fans of this, like are willing to rock it as a PFP or like talk about the community on the daily. But that's like frowned upon now. Like no one wants to raw dog a CA on the timeline anymore. It's fucking crazy. But you know, I digress. So but yeah, the Amazing Digital Circus checks many boxes for me. Like I said, for one, it has insane normie mindshare. Two, there's content. There's an infinite number and amount of content on TikTok, and it does insane numbers as well. But again, at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters if there's no community. And for this one, there is, which is incredible to see. It has 500 followers on X. Engagement isn't the hottest on the main account, but sometimes they get some bangers. You know, like this one got almost 1,000 impressions. And then in the community here, there's 1,000 people in here. And let's see, so 48 minutes ago, the Amazing Digital Circus, it's popular in Roblox, you know. So yeah, there's a few posts every hour, which is good to see. Like the community's not dead. And the fact that it's not at 0 is even better. Like if you buy something at 400K market cap, it's not late. And you got to get that mentality out of your head. And honestly, like it's just insane, dude. We have so many like content creators, so many streamers that are just doing the whole gambling thing. I really don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I don't want to open up new pairs or anything like that. I just want to take my relaxed, calculated approach that I do to trading meme coins because it boils down to those fundamentals or those foundations I was talking about, you know, content, community, mindshare. Literally, that's all that matters. And the rest is just noise in the short term. In the long term, you know, outlier coded, that's like the only fucking heaven coin I like. But you really have to take that same mindset and that same approach to where it's like, if you see the vision for a coin early, like the hardest thing to do is keep your conviction on it. And it's even more difficult, especially if you have a large audience or a large following, because again, the trenches have been conditioned to just buy and sell coins within the first 15 minutes of them being live. You know what I mean? And it's just really hard to get like holders now. So if you see something that's sustained multiple dips, you know what I mean? It had a harsh dip here to like 150. It still picked back up, another retrace down to 300, another even lower retrace to 200, and then finally got another one here at 200, and it's still not dead. Like that tells you something, you know what I mean? And a lot of the top holders I think haven't sold, so they're still bullish on the project. They still see the vision, and there's again insane amount of mind share on it that a lot of people just still don't understand. And I'm not like, I don't really know what the answer is, you know what I mean? Because people will look at this and they'll say, oh fuck, this token's like old. It came out, I don't know how old it is. Came out 15 days ago. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, dude, if it's not a token that's been launched in the last like 5 minutes, 99% of the people in your group chat will just ignore it. It's insane. I just don't understand it, but I don't know. I still like it. I have some money in it. I still think it's undervalued for sure. And the reason I have like Mudang and Chill Guy on here is again, like I said, like you got to pay attention to the leaders in whatever coin category you're looking to purchase, because that kind of gives you like a ceiling for the coin. Like for example, I love 6-7, dude. I think this is like one of the largest cults I've ever seen like in real life. Like I've never seen anything like it. I think the last time I saw something that was adopted so quick is like the whole circle thing that us old folks do, to where like, you know, you do like a okay sign. Wasn't there a coin about that long ago? I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like the whole circle thing. I don't want to open up Google because I think I'm signed in, but you know what I mean. Like you do the circle, and then like if someone looks at it, you like punch him. That's essentially what it is. But for like brain rot kids, like it's not what it is, but like that's the type of mind share I'm talking about. Like you walk on the street and you do the circle thing on your leg to someone, and you make them look, like they'll understand what that is. They'll try to poke the finger in it or whatever, so that they don't get punched or whatever. It's the same thing with 6-7, dude. Like people do that little like jiggle like with their hands or whatever, like back and forth, and it's insane, dude. Like 6-7 is incredibly undervalued, but same thing, people look at this chart and they're like, yep, it's going to zero, fuck this, you know. Like Greg shilled it at 7 mil, it topped out at 8, it's going to zero. Like that mentality, man, dude, like I just don't know how to get rid of that. And I think ultimately that's like my goal here with these streams. Just again, take a less fucking brain rotted approach to trading and really like trade again. Because what 99% of the people in the space are doing are just gambling. At least gamble in an educated way, like in a much more relaxed way, to where you're not going insane and comparing your, you know, profits to someone else's profits and things of that sort. Like that mentality just is insane in my opinion. Like there's so many good coins on dips right now, and just because like the market's not hot, we're not getting coins ripping to like 20 mil within the first 10 minutes like we were seeing last year during the AI meta, which by the way, we only saw that during the AI CM. It just baffles me. But anyway, yeah, I think this dude. One second. All right. Sorry, pump fun folks. Okay. Dude. Yeah, I'm having issues with the pump fund streaming again. I gotta get in touch with them and figure out how to make it more stable. I'm gonna have to switch to OBS because right now I'm using Restream. But yeah, is it back? All right, it's back. Cool. All right, give me a minute. I gotta take a piss. One sec. All right, we're back. Is the Pump Fund stream still working? Yeah, it is. All right, cool. Yeah, I gotta figure out why it keeps disconnecting. So I'm using like a different browser to stream versus the one that I'm actually like screen sharing on, just for, you know, privacy reasons or whatever. But anyway, we're back. But yeah, like I was saying, for Italian brain rot, when Mindshare was at all-time high, like I was seeing it everywhere on TikTok, but now I very seldom do I see it on my FYP. So I don't know if just like Mindshare has died on it a little bit, but we'll see what's going on. Spend some time. Need to detail screen. Oh, it looks nice. Very nice launch coin. You may never get an opportunity as rewarding as it is currently to stream on Pump Fund and create an audience for yourself literally overnight. Massive creators will be born on Pump Fund, and already massive creators will come to Pump Fund. Win Elon, win Pump. I agree, dude. That's why we're here. We'll see what happens. Not gonna acknowledge that. Just now noticing you're actually pretty smart. Just now noticing is crazy. I've been dropping speech. Fernando says that the amazing digital circus still got an episode coming out and more content on top of all the content we already have. Dude, like, I agree. TADC is very, very undervalued, and I think people start to catch on pretty soon. So just keep holding, keep showing up every day, keep chilling. So let's get it. Let's see. I think that was it on my little agenda. Did I talk about everything? Yeah, I talked about all my holdings, all the coins. As far as updates on gambles, I know I shared. What did I share? I shared Memecoins mill. Oh my god, I haven't even checked what it's at. Am I? Are we at 0? Nah, dude, we're at 200K. See, we're good. We're fucking good. If you're not familiar with what the narrative on this is, like, I think it's like the funniest fucking thing that could have happened. By the way, the community's still growing, and I think holders are still at all-time high. But essentially, see, he even retweeted the image from the community. That's insane. But essentially, he put out a few days ago. Oh shit! I clicked on the wrong one. Where the fuck is it? Working on an AI tool that can change the world. And Solana fucking front ran him and launched Memecoins Mill AI. I thought that was so fucking hilarious. Like, and my thing is just like, how do we like bait him into engaging, which he already did, which is hilarious. And I think if anything, it's just going to further develop into just like an ongoing meme, like an inside joke on our side in terms of like, dude, like we front ran Meek Mill's tech with like our own Solana tech. Like it's just hilarious, dude. Like it's fucking incredible. Oh yeah, shadows on his face. Nice. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on. On CT. So we need a fat runner that changes the meta. Capital markets. The one thing that I love about like my live stream chats is that 99% of like the token shills that I see there are actual communities, which is insane. Like I see Jelly, TADC, Troll, like shout out to you guys. Like we need more of that again if we really want to see the quote unquote runners that everyone's like begging for. Like they're there, but you're just not getting that 30K market cap entry that you crave, you know, when hyper gambling on new pairs. And again, it's just not a sustainable way to trade, like at the end of the day, in my opinion. But what do I know? What do I know? Gonna hold if almost take token for a long while. It's over, mate. We're just getting started. That's what Orangey said. What do you mean? Let me hide that. But yeah. Lunar's Dream More asked if I trade perps. I do not. The only real thing that I've done like outside of meme coins is like buying spot of like hype and soul, but that's about it. I don't really mess with like perps, to be honest. That's above my knowledge gap. This trading bot is dropping tomorrow and is partnered directly with Meteora. They have some of the lowest fees and already have done high 8 figures. Interesting to see how this plays out. Yeah, that's crazy. Gonna go back to trading bot wars again here shortly. We'll see what happens. Like I said earlier, like there's really no number 2 trading bot right now. Literally, it's just Axiom versus everybody else. It's just fucking crazy to me. So we'll see. Can I join a spaces while live streaming? Or will it fuck up everything? I'm curious. I don't know. Yeah, all right. Well, I want to talk to Shadow, so I'm going to hop on there if you guys want to peep the spaces also. But great stream. I had fun. So, like I said, I'll be doing these regularly, like 1 or 2 a week, probably Monday, Tuesdays, or Thursdays when I'm actually like at my setup.